Let's go.
No, Dad! It's me! Your boy! Your chip off the old block!
You need to shut the fuck up!
Hey everyone, it's Movie Lover Warren 20 here, and I'm here with a brand new epic movie rant, and this epic rant is going to be for the 5th installment in the horror franchise I am currently reviewing. And as of course, since we're finally at this one, the infamous 5th installment to the 2004 movie, meaning the 2004 follow-up to the franchise, Seed of Chucky. Yeah, this is probably my most hated Chucky movie to date. But we'll get to that in a bit. But the plot of this, well, the killer doll is back. Glenn, the orphan doll offspring of the irrepressible devilish doll, come to life Chucky and his equally twisted bride Tiffany. When production starts on a movie dealing the urban legend of his parents' lethal exploits, Glenn heads for Hollywood when he brings his bloodthirsty parents back from the dead. Although Glenn, or is it Glenda, is immediately accepted, the family dynamics are far from perfect. Chucky and Tiffany go Hollywood and get rolling on a new spree of murderous mayhem, much to gentle Glenn's dismay. Chucky can't believe that his son doesn't want to walk in his murdering footsteps, while starstruck Tiffany can't believe that the movie will star her favorite actress Jennifer Tilly, who soon becomes an unwitting hostess to this new family in more ways than one. So how is this movie made? Well, 2 days after the successful release of Bride of Chucky, production on a new film was already on the way, and it would be called Son of Chucky, unfortunately, director Ronnie Yu was unable to return due to him going to make thankfully, who he picked wisely to do, go to make Freddy vs. Jason. Thank God he did not return to do this one. Don Mancini, who is gay, and was interested in exploring LGBT-related themes in the next film, decided to write a screenplay inspired by the 1953 called Classic Glenn or Glenda, in which Chucky's son is an innocent person suffering from gender dysphoria. He also decided to continue the shift in the series towards comedy, after noting that horror villains such as Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees, and Freddy Krueger became less scary as they became more familiar with audiences. But he already did that with Bride, though. Why would it need to apply here? The series already became comedic. Universal Pictures, which produced the previous 3 films and has expected a more conventional slasher film with the son being a murderous villain, which would have been better, rejected the script, with the note, "This is too gay," So Universal decided to be such absolute dumbasses and rejected a pretty decent fifth film, which actually would have been better. Production ultimately resumed when the project was approved by Focus Features after the successful release of Cabin Fever in 2003, and was ultimately released to Rogue Pictures instead. Mancini claimed in a podcast that prior casting to Redman, he had offered to cast Quentin Tarantino as himself, but he declined. And I don't blame Quentin Tarantino for not wanting to star in this piece of shit. When Seed of Chucky was released into theaters on November 11, 2004, it was so badly received by both critics and fans to this day, and is widely regarded as the #1 worst Chucky movie in the franchise. At the box office, it was ugly as well, because it only made a lousy $24 million worldwide on a $12 million budget. Due to this, it was the last Child's Play film from the original continuity to be released into theaters, with all future installments to be released direct-to-video until the 2019 remake. As for me, personally, of course I hate this movie much like every other fan of the series easily does. And if you're wondering, I have this punching bag right here, because this is what I think of Seed of Chucky. Fuck you, you piece of shit! Fuck you, Seed of Chucky. You sick ass motherfucker! You're the worst Chucky movie ever. You're one of the worst slasher sequels I ever watched. You took a shit on the franchise. You ruined the character of Chucky. You ruined the character of Tiffany. You made the series a joke. Fuck you! Okay, back to the review. First, there's the character of Glenda is a pathetic pantsweater that's supposed to be the son of Chucky. Weak. Chucky was a nutso killer with a rap song about him as well. How did he have such a lame son, and how did even... Also, what's the point of this movie anyway? How the hell do dolls even reproduce themselves anyway? I get they're human, but they're dolls. This is kind of why I didn't like the ending of Bride Chucky, because dolls can't make babies. They're plastic. Second, Chucky and his wife were once again brought back to life for the dumbest chant possible of the Dan Dambala chant. They use it the dumbest version possible. How would they revive from something like that? Third, how could it have been so even more ridiculous to have Jennifer Tilly playing herself and be the voice of Chucky's bride? And finally, what the hell was Redman, a rapper, doing in this movie? The whole thing with having actors play themselves is somewhat interesting, but if you're going to make Redman a film director and call him Redman, even though Redman is not a film director but a rapper, I don't see the point. The storyline was even just dumb and completely ludicrous. The deaths, although gory, this is probably the goriest Chucky film ever, were pretty nice. A lot of them were still dumb, and laced with twice as more humor as the previous film. Not to mention the film felt campy and just completely lost in the post-Child's Play universe. So yeah, this is the worst of the franchise hands down. This movie just failed on so many levels. The double role of Jennifer Tilly was just so stupid in my eyes, and the cheesy jokes between herself and Tiffany just made me cringe at how bad it was. And you would think that Chucky's child would be a murderous killer like his father. No, Boy, that was not the case. His son/daughter is a massive nerd who doesn't like violence. And you just wonder why the hell he is in this movie. He's probably one of the worst characters in any horror sequel or any slasher I've ever seen. And there is no human protagonist in this movie. At all. Literally, the protagonists of this movie are Chucky, Tiffany, and Glenn. That's what the movie's really about. All Don Mancini really did was permanently put the Chucky franchise downhill. The storyline was boring. Like, why was this movie even made? There was no reason for this movie to exist. It could have picked a way better thing for a fifth installment. No, Chucky needs to have a son, apparently. Having a bride was fine, but a son? You're seriously kidding me right now? It's like, one of the only things that even saves this movie is just still some of Chucky's one-liners. And, like, in this movie, Chucky's even in Hollywood. And speaking of that, the concept of Chucky being in Hollywood feels exactly like a ripoff of the concept of New Nightmare, except with everything good about the movie gone, and just have Freddy be the Freddy's Dead version of the character in it, as if Rachel, I forget her last name, who directed Freddy's Dead, directed New Nightmare, instead of Wes Craven. Like, now a concept of Chucky being in Hollywood would have possibly worked if that had been done by an actually good director. Not directed by Don Mancini. Like, I liked Tiffany and Bride. Here I don't like her at all. They made her more obnoxious. They made her more annoying. It's like, the character of Glenn is so boring. All he does is piss his pants whenever his parents kill anybody. And Glenda, like, has no use because that was just no reason whatsoever. Oh yeah, did I mention that after Glenn kills Chucky, he starts randomly crying like a little baby? Like, we're supposed to be sad. Apparently we're supposed to be sad by that he just killed his own dad, but really? We're supposed to be sad after Chucky died? No. We're never supposed to feel sad after Chucky dies. In fact, none of us even feel sad. There's probably such a big what the fuck moment. And dolls don't even cry either. Ugh. Now, and the characters, no one's likable for the human characters. They don't contribute anything to the plot. And yeah, there's not really any human protagonists in this movie. It's literally just about the dolls. Now, having a Chucky movie just be about Chucky for once is not bad, but how this movie did it proves that that's just kind of boring. Another few things that does redeem this movie is that, unlike Busta Rhymes in Halloween Resurrection, where he kicked Michael's ass and won and survived, Redman does die in this movie and does not kick Chucky or Tiffany's asses. But back onto the bad qualities. Tilly's fictional self, man, is she annoying. Like, all Tilly's fictional self in this movie does is complain, be rude, and scream the entire time she is on screen. Yeah. She's basically just screams away the whole movie. Like, most of her dialogue is just her screaming and complaining. Just the idea of a living, breathing, killing doll, marrying and having intimate friend relationships with another doll is one thing. But dolls having babies now? Like, oh yeah, did I forget Chucky does a little gross thing that I don't want to mention on his channel? Like, yeah, you think most of you Chucky fans probably know what I'm talking about, what he does? Yeah. Yeah, he does something really disgusting in this movie that I think you all know what I mean. Just, like in general, and the way the movie ends is just pointless sequel baiting because Chucky doesn't even die once again. Because he ships his arm into a birthday box, and human Glenn, who looks weird as hell, opens it, and he sees it's Chucky's arm, pisses his pants once again, and Chucky's somehow unattached arm grabs him, and Chucky's laugh is heard. So yeah, Chucky still survives in this movie. it's just pointless sequel baiting, and it would be, and because it's pointless because we wouldn't get another movie for 9 years due to how bad this movie was. Just Seed of Chucky takes the series on a whole new plot course where Chucky and Tiffany decided to give up killing for the benefits of their son. Yeah, so once again, we never got another Chucky movie for 9 years because this movie did so bad with critics, fans, and box office. And with Universal had a good vision, more of a straightforward slasher where Chucky's son was a killer. That would have been a great concept. That would have been way better than what we got here. Than what Don Mancini gave us. A doll having a son that doesn't want to be a killer. For some reason. No, like, Don Mancini should have just listened to Universal and did that concept. And we would have had a way better fifth movie. And it would have actually been decent. Anyway, like, I don't have much to say about this. It's just, characters are stupid. Chucky and Tiffany and Glenn are ruined in this movie. The quality sucks. The gore effects suck. Just everything about this movie sucks. I could go on, but this movie just sucks. I don't have much else to say about this rant, but my recommendation is you easily avoid this movie because it is absolute horseshit. And just skip straight ahead to Curse of Chucky after you finish watching Bride. And if you're curious to know what probably happened between the events of Bride and Curse, just write it down. What you think happens between the events of those two films, because I feel like anyone such as you personally could probably come up with a way better fifth chapter of what happened between 4 and 6. And if you end up buying the collection that includes this movie, then congratulations, you have a drink coaster that you can put an ice cold glass of pop or beer on to drink out of while you watch the first 4 Chucky movies and Curse of Chucky. You have an ice cold drink you have a coaster to lay your drink on. You can just use the Seed of Chucky disc as a coaster. Anyway, that's pretty much it for my review of Seed of Chucky, or as it's better called, Abomination of Chucky. And if you're wondering how I'm going to rank Abomination of Chucky, then here's how I'm going to definitely rank it. I'm going to give Abortion of Chucky a 2 out of 10. Alright, and there we go. Well, that's pretty much it for my review, finally, for my rant of Seed. Now we can move on to a better Chucky movie. Grab it. Yeah, because thankfully, this is gonna be the next review. I gotta watch this today at some point, so I can review it tomorrow. And yeah. So that will be good. It'll be good to get this review out of the way. But yeah, but until then, guys, that'll be it for this rant. Thank y'all for watching. And if you like this, want to see more, then don't forget to like, subscribe to Movie Lover 120.